So hello all, and we have started with the time and place of supply under GST. So we will be taking up first the place of supply, and under place of supply we have already discussed in the previous session that what is the place of supply or the location of supply and the different types of supplies, that is geographical, on the basis of geographical location, how we differentiate the supply, and also on the basis of purpose of the recipient. We have discussed the supply B2B or the supply which is under B2C category, and we have seen the difference between these categories of supplies. Now on the basis of this we will further discuss how the place of supply can be fixed in reference to the different supplies under different circumstances that is being made by the supplier to the recipient. So under first point here, in discussing the place of supply, as you can see here, the first point says place of supply under GST when there is movement of goods. So now you all know very well, as we have discussed in the previous sessions also, that what is movement of goods. Movement of goods involves the physical movement of goods from one place to another, where the supplier is giving the delivery of goods and moving the goods from its location to the location of the recipient. That is movement of goods. So under section 10, subsection 1, clause A, it says when a supply involves movement of good, the place of supply is the location at which the movement of goods terminates for delivery to the recipient. So in simple terms, if we say, then the movement of goods means that the goods are moving from one place to another. And then in this situation where the goods are moving from one place to another, then the place of supply will be the location at which the movement of goods terminates, which means that the journey of the goods is the location at which the journey of the goods is terminating, the location at which the journey of goods is getting finished and the delivery of goods have been given over to the recipient is the location, or you can say the place of supply. So in the case where the goods are moving, the location at which the delivery terminates, or the location at which the delivery ends up and the delivery has been handed over to the recipient, is the place of supply under the situation under section 10 subsection 1 clause A. Coming to the second situation, where it talks about the place of supply under GST when third party is involved. Third party here means that in a situation, suppose uh, I am a third party here means the person on whose instruction the goods are being moving. Like suppose, for example, I have ordered the goods, and but my factory location is in let's say it is in Bombay, right? There is another office in Bombay, and I am my registered place of business is in Delhi, right? And I am ordering the goods from Calcutta, let's say, right? So goods need to be moved from Calcutta to Bombay, but my location is Delhi. But I want it to be delivered to Calcutta, to Bombay, right? So in this situation, what will be the place of supply? Because the recipient, the person who has ordered the goods is in Delhi, and the person who will be receiving the goods on my orders is in Bombay, right? And the supplier is in Calcutta. So here you can see the three parties are involved. Three parties here means the one who is supplying the goods, the one who is receiving the goods, and the one on whose instructions the goods have been moved. So third party is the person on whose instruction the goods have been moved, because in this situation the recipient will be the person who will be receiving the goods in Bombay, and the person who is supplying the goods is the person who is living in Calcutta, right? And me at Delhi, I am giving the instruction to the supplier to supply the goods to Calcutta, to Bombay, sorry, right? So this Bombay person will be the recipient in this situation, and this whole structure is called as the bill to ship to model. Bill to ship to. Okay, so in this situation, in the normal situation when we talk about GST, there are usually two parties involved. One is the supplier, other is the recipient. But in this situation, the person who is receiving the goods is not the authorized person, or you can say is not the person on whose instructions the goods have been moved. Here, the person who is giving the order for the goods is different, and the person who is receiving the goods is different. So, under such situation, there will be a third party other than the supplier and the recipient on whose instructions the goods have been moved from one location to the other location. So, section 10, subsection 1, clause B says that in GST, if the goods are supplied by the supplier to the recipient on the direction of a third person. So, suppose the person in Delhi is the third person here, it will be deemed that the third person has received the goods. So, what we have to do, we have to assume under this situation that the third person has received the goods, and the place of supply will be the principal place of business of such third person. So in this situation, the place of supply will be considered as the principal place of business of such third person. So whatever is the registered place of business for that third person will be considered as the place of supply, though it is different that the goods have been received by any other person at some other location. So the example which we were continuing here is the supplier is of Calcutta, the recipient who is receiving the goods is in Bombay, but the goods have been moved on my instruction that I have ordered the goods and I have my registered place of business in Delhi. So under this situation, the place of supply will be Delhi here, though the goods are being moving from Calcutta to Bombay and the recipient is of Bombay. But the place of supply will be Delhi, because being the third party, I have ordered the goods and my registered place of business is in Delhi. So this is the situation where three parties, third party is involved, and on the instruction of the third party, the goods have moved from one place to another. And this whole structure, you call it as the bill to ship to model. Fine. Then moving on to the next point, which involves supply not involving movement of goods under section 10, subsection 1, clause C, where it says where the supply does not involve movement of goods, the place of supply shall be the location of such goods at the time of the delivery to the recipient. So this point simply says that the under supply where the goods are not moving. Goods are not moving here means the goods are not changing its place. Now, the point says where supply does not involve movement of goods, where there is no movement of goods, the place of supply shall be the location of such goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. It simply says that under this situation, where the goods are not moving, goods are not changing its place, then in that case, whatever is the location of the goods at the time when the delivery of the goods have been made to the recipient, that location will be considered as the place of supply. Is that more? Now, one thing to be noted here is, as I have mentioned here in bold, that here it is not intended to cover cases where it is difficult to move. We are not talking about the situation where the movement of goods is becoming difficult, and that is why we are considering this section 10 subsection 1 clause C. No, we are considering this section under the situation where the supply demands that good ought not to move. Means out of circumstances, out of situation, it has been assumed or it has been taken that way that the goods will not be moving from one place to another when the delivery of goods has been handed over from the supplier to the recipient. Now, in this situation, we can take up one example. Let's say I have a setup of business, that is the registered place of business for me is, let's say, in Delhi, and I have a campus, like a factory in Delhi, and that factory now I want to close down, right? So whatever is the machines that has been installed in that campus, now the that machine, the owner of that uh, land, to whom I am selling the goods, now that person is ready to take the land as well as the whole setup of the machines that is there, right? So under this situation, what will happen? The all the machines that has been involved, that has been installed there, that will, as it is, it will be delivered to the new owner, right? Or suppose I was working on rent on it, on that piece of land, and I have set up my factory on that, and now that landlord is wanting me to vacate that land, and the landlord want to continue with the same setup of factory for his own purpose, right? So what I am doing, I am giving out that land along with the setup of that factory or the machines that I have installed on that piece of land. Now the factory belongs to me, the setup belongs to me. It's just the land which is of the owner. So I am giving the delivery of that installed machines also to the owner. So in this case, the machines which are already installed on that piece of land, I am not moving that machine. That's a you can say good that is already being installed on the piece of land, and as it is, the delivery will be handed over to the recipient, to the owner of the land. So what is happening here? The goods are not moving. Goods are not changing its place. So the place of supply under this situation will be the place of the machine at which it is located, and accordingly the GST will be computed, right? So under this situation, uh, it is not difficult to move the machine, as I have written in the board that we are not considering the cases under this section where the movement of goods is difficult. No, we are considering those cases under this section where the supply demands that goods ought not to move. As in this situation, goods were not required to move. They are in the same location as they were before delivery, and now they are in the same location after delivery also. So goods are not required to be moved. So under such situations where the goods are not required to be moved from one place to another, that is the situation which will be considered under section 10 subsection 1 clause C, where the place of goods will be assumed to be the place of supply. I hope I'm clearing off with this section. Then, moving ahead with the next point, that is supply involving installation or assembly of goods, section 10, subsection 1, clause D. Now, in this situation, it is saying that the place of supply, what will be the place of supply? The place of supply in the situation where the goods require installation or goods require assembly of goods, such sort of situations, such sort of you can say conditions, circumstances, the place of supply shall be deemed to be the place of such installation or assembly. So, in the case of machines, in the case of factory setups, in the case of goods which require the whole lot of structure of assembling the goods or installation, under such situation, it will be assumed uh, that the place where the goods are getting assembled or installed will be the place of supply for such goods, right? So let's suppose, for example, the machine has been purchased, and the machine which has been purchased is, suppose I have purchased a machine and my location is, let's say, in Himachal Pradesh, right? And I have purchased the machine from the supplier of Delhi, right? And I am getting that machine installed in Himachal Pradesh only. Then The place of supply will be Himachal Pradesh, right? Now, suppose the next situation is where the location of the supplier is in Lucknow, okay? Then place where goods are installed is, let's say, Chandigarh, and the place of business of the recipient is Delhi. I'm repeating, the location of the supplier is Lucknow, the place where goods are installed is Chandigarh, and the place of business of the recipient is Delhi. Now, in this situation, there might be the confusion that the place of supply will be either Delhi or Chandigarh. So we have to refer to section 10, subsection 1, clause D, which says that in the situation where the goods are required to be assembled or installed, then in that situation, the place or the location where the goods are getting installed will be considered as the place of supply. So under this situation, considering the example, Chandigarh will be the place of supply because the machine is getting installed in Chandigarh. Coming to the next point, it says goods supplied on board of conveyance. Section 10, subsection 1, clause E, which simply says that the situation where the goods are being supplied on board a conveyance. On board a conveyance means the conveyance can be anything. It can be any vessel, as I have written here in the slide, any vessel, any aircraft, train, motor vehicle, bus, whatever. So, under the situation where the goods are being supplied to these conveyances, maybe aircraft, maybe train, maybe vehicle, bus, transport, any sort of transport you are considering here, if the goods are supplied on a moving conveyance, then in that situation, the place of supply shall be the location at which the such goods are taken on board, which means that suppose I have boarded a, suppose there is a train which is moving from Delhi to Bombay, fine, and the supplier has boarded its material which needs to be supplied in the conveyance from Delhi. Then the place of supply will be Delhi only. But suppose in the same train, let's say moving from Delhi to Bombay, the goods which needs to be supplied are boarded on train at Bhopal, let's say, for example. So in this situation, the place of supply will become Bhopal because the goods which are required to be supplied on board a conveyance are boarded in the on the vehicle from Bhopal. So Bhopal will be considered to be the place of supply. Now, whether whatever is the situation of the supplier, let's say the supplier is of Delhi and he is supplying the goods on board from Bhopal, then also the Bhopal will be considered as the place of supply, not Delhi. Fine. So suppose, let us take one more example here. Uh, let's say the location of the supplier is Chandigarh, and place where goods are taken on board a conveyance is, let's say, Haryana. And the place where the goods are supplied to the passenger during journey is Himachal Pradesh. This simply means that supplier is of Chandigarh, the place where goods are taken on board is Haryana, and the place where the goods are supplied to the passenger during the journey is Himachal Pradesh. Now, in this situation, the place of supply will be Haryana. It will not be the you can say the place where the goods are supplied to the passenger, that is Himachal Pradesh. It will not be Himachal Pradesh because we have to consider the place from where the goods have been boarded on the journey, not the place where the goods have been provided to the passenger or the goods have been sold to the passenger. So under such situations where the goods, where the place of supply is required to be fixed, where the goods are supplied on some board of conveyance, so you just need to focus on this point, that where the goods are being boarded on the conveyance, and that will become the place of supply. So these all are the different situations where the place of supply needs to be studied. And if any situation arises beyond this point, where it becomes difficult to assess that what is the place of supply, because the place of supply does not include, is not included under any of these sub points, then you have to take the help of the council, GST council, or the provisions that is given by the council, that how to fix up the place of supply, or you can take the help of the recommendations of the GST council to fix up your place of supply, and accordingly you can do your GST compliances. Thank you all. This is it from my side for this topic.